Today, we're going to talk about the college football and NFL weekends, winners for tonight, and let's please cash a squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. We're beating Vandy, by the way. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Sure.
You guys want to buy this jersey? I just got it. Wore it one time down at Chapel Bill. Fucking done.
The only win seen in that jersey is by the Frogs. That's unbelievable.
What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Friday, episode 779 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you're not using Bookit Sports to track your bets, start using Bookit Sports today. The best bet tracking app out there by far on the App Store or Google Play. Go check out Bookit Sports. Start tracking your bets this weekend. It is not too late this college football or NFL season to start tracking your wagers over there on Bookit Sports. It's not too late. It's not too late. Jovan, we got a 10 and we got a 4?
Got some 10s and 4s.
Sure. I'll go ahead and get right out ahead of this one and apologize to you guys for the worst play of the year in Sam Houston last night. That is the worst team I have ever witnessed in my entire existence. I apologize for making you guys witness that. I hope you turned it off. I've never seen a team keel over, die, not make adjustments in my entire life. Ever.
Yeah, bad team. Really bad team.
They had a chance. They were down 10-3. And granted, New Mexico State was about to score. They're on the goal line. They fumbled. There was a chance Sam Houston scoop and score. And they couldn't even pick up the ball. Not going to make excuses. That was the worst bet of all time. I'm taking full responsibility. Full responsibility. Rowdy, again, people just love to fucking antagonize me and chirp me on the feed. Rowdy, I was not jinxing your play. I was chirping Beeve. And I threw you in there. I said, hey, you just got rowdied after the stop on the goal line. Look, if that upset you, Rowdy, I apologize. Was not trying to jinx you. Was not on the play. Was just trying to chirp Beef on the feed. And next thing you know, I got 1,000 people in my fucking DMs on the feed. I got people I've never even engaged with coming out telling me to go fuck myself. Yep, that's usually how it goes when you're old Krabs. Rowdy, I apologize if I upset you, my man. I was not jinxing your play. I was not celebrating early. I was just trying to chirp Beef, man. I was just trying to chirp Beef. That's all it was. Now everybody's coming for my neck, saying I ruined the streak. Rowdy, you know you're my guy. All right, I apologize if I upset you, but give me a break. I'm just out here trying to chirp Beef for the 1v1. Okay? All right. Yeah, I'm just not going to read the chat today because it's going to be so negative and toxic and mean. I will remind you guys that I am still up hella coins in college football, and I'm getting my lick back on a 3-unit play tonight in college football. So you can either chirp, stay on that side, and fade my plays, or you can get on board and get your coins back from Sam Houston last night. I'm 46-31 betting college football this year, all tracked up 10.22 units. So if you're fading me, you're down coins. I'm here to make you guys coins, make you guys better bettors, and help improve the way you guys think about looking at lines, looking at bets, and locking in plays. And if you're staying on that side and you want to fade, go ahead, feel free. You can chirp. I gave out the worst play of all time last night. But don't switch up when I hit a 3-unit play tonight, and keep that same energy. That's all I got to say. Yep, Judge still does not show up when you need him most, and nobody's talking about that. I went 0 for 3 last night and had zero impact on that game. But I digress. Let's go ahead and recap the Sharp report from yesterday and take a peep at that. Horrible from me. Not a single winner. Shout out Nathaniel Lowe. You scumbag. Scumbag. That turtleneck is starting to look stupider and stupider by the minute. I'll say.
Yeah, he's got to get some clothes that fit him, man.
Jovan, that turtleneck It's lost all its fucking aura, man.
The aura's gone. Doesn't even look the same in Red Sox uni.
Yep. Kaprizov saying Krabs is cold. Yeah, I had 2 bad days in a row. I'm still 92, 75, and 3, up 7.3 units in my last 30 days. I'm still 20, 16, and 1, up 1.9 units in my last 7 days. But yeah, Krabs is cold after 2 bad days. Guys, have you never had a bad day? If you haven't, you're lying right to your fucking face and right to my face. Give me a break. Give me a break. 2 bad days. Let's end that skid today. Let's lock the fuck in. Let's hit a 3-unit whale in college football.
Perfect time to buy some crab stock.
Perfect time.
Perfect time.
Never been low. Literally looks like Trent. I don't know if I see it.
Yeah, I don't know if I see that one.
I used to be his biggest fan, man. Now I just that turtleneck just looks stupid as hell. After an error like that, looks stupid as hell.
Dude, it's not even just the turtleneck. It's the jersey that's 2 sizes too small.
Yeah, he does wear the tightest jerseys of all time.
Like, what are we doing?
And respectfully, I have no room to talk here. I'm not out here looking like David Hasselhoff. Doesn't have the body shape to wear the tightest jersey in the league.
I mean, yeah. I'm clearly not either, but it's just like if you're out there on a national stage, get a size up, my guy.
Dude likes wearing the tightest clothes of all time. I don't get it. We got John Mula getting involved. Welcome to the weekend, boys. W. John, appreciate the vibes. Appreciate the subby. Love to see it, my man. W. Trent doing the yap earlier today. Okay. I do have one more thing to bitch about before we get into today's winners. We have an action-packed show today. We got to go over winners for tonight on this horrendous college football slate. That's all we got. Also some W action as well. Don't sleep on it. Don't forget about it. Okay, a winner's a winner. And we got to go over college football and NFL weekend previews for tonight as well. We got to craft up some squad rides for today and the weekend. A lot to get to today, folks. And we do have a live coin toss recording at 2 p.m. Eastern, live. Okay, so if you want to get involved and watch that puppy, it's right after BTL today. It's right after BTL today. Okay? Get ready. That's why we got to end on time. We got to keep the tempo and pace crispy today. Live coin toss. Excited to watch that puppy. Excited to watch that puppy. Yeah, your friend Kyle coming out, chirping me out of the fucking woodworks. I never talked to that guy in my entire life. I used to be a fan. I used to watch his streams. Turns out he's a massive dickhead and likes to blame me for his losers. So it is what it is. I know what I signed up for. And you know, when I bet the way I do and act the way I do, I guess that's what comes with the territory. But it's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's unfair. It's uncalled for. And the hate is just getting out of control at this point. It's out of control. Most people would already quit by now. We got Mook827 getting involved, dropping a resub. Man, did I miss the Sam Houston steamed crabs? Mook, you did. Worst bet of all time. I apologize. I'm going to get you guys your coins back tonight. I'm going to get you guys your coins back tonight. Okay? All right, let's move. Let's groove. Goots, if you're around, if you're local, I'm trying to get pissed about something. This is important. Run that shit. Guys, this one hits home. This one hits home. This tweet fresh off the presses, and I had to sneak this one in and ask Goots, can you do one more thing for me? Can you do DJ Fitz one more thing for me while you're doing a million things to produce BTL? Get this puppy up on the screen. I got something to complain about. Of course, this happens in Philly, by the way. Can't make it up. The worst city on the planet. Worse than Baltimore. Of course, this happens in Philly. Jovan, couple things here, man. Those are the smallest wieners I've seen in my entire life. I'll say it. I'll cut right to the chase. I'll say it. Smallest wieners I've ever seen. Those are half dogs. Those aren't hot dogs. Those are half dogs. Ever. Those are little fucking dog digs. Those are not hot dogs.
Krabs, you're losing me, man.
Those are not hot dogs. Those are small little weenies. Those are little chodes on little buns. Baby buns, baby chodes, fucking baby dogs. That's not a 999 challenge. That's a 4.599 challenge. And that's being generous. Look at the size of the beers.
Yeah, those are sips.
I could drink those beers in one sip. One sip. And what might be worse than this entire fucking thing is they're giving you the 999 challenge on a platter. Jovan, half the battle of the 999 challenge is going up and fucking and rearming yourself with dogs and beers every couple of innings. Walking up to the fucking concession stand, re-upping, and getting a couple dogs at a time, couple beers at a time, barely being able to carry them back to your fucking seat. You're walking back, you're spilling shit, you're dropping dogs. Next thing you know, your dog is all fucking dirty and shit. You still got to eat it because for the love of the game.
Of course.
This is a 999 Happy Meal, a handout 999 challenge. A handout. I could do this in my sleep. This is half the fucking challenge and half the battle, Jovan. They're giving you everything on a silver platter.
Krabs, man, I'll say it. After this disrespect from the Phillies, giving this junior 999 handout Happy Meal, kids meal, and after JJ Watt cheating by going all at once, just disrespecting, so much disrespect on what the 999 challenge is, the whole community needs to see you lock in and give it one last shot.
I could drive up to Philly and do this challenge in a heartbeat.
No,
I could go to
point.
I could go to Fogo de Chao before all you can eat meats for 2 hours, getting the meat sweats, walking over to the stadium, and still do this challenge.
Yeah, this is a layup challenge. I think a lot of us could.
This is a handout central right here. Look how small those dogs are, chat. You cannot tell me those aren't the smallest dogs you've ever seen in all the land. They are. They are. Those are half beers. And they're giving you everything on a platter. Half the battle of doing the challenge is going up and having trouble acquiring all the meats and all the beers. Half the battle is stuffing beers and stuffing dogs under your seat. They get all fucking warm and nasty and soggy under your seat because they stopped serving beers and stopped serving food in the 7th or 8th inning. Half the battle is battling through that fucking adversity. And this is a handout. Exactly what to expect from the city of Philadelphia right here. Another handout.
Dude, you're getting legit shooters of beer and Hawaiian rolls.
This is the tush-push handout, but in 999 challenge version. Would not expect anything differently from the city of Philadelphia. Handout Central. Handout Central.
So many handouts.
Smallest weenies in all the land. God, this makes me sick.
You need to drop meat and do it the right way one last time. Just to put your foot down and end this bullshit.
After the JJ Watt debacle, dude thinks he could just turn into fucking Joey Chestnut and house everything in one inning when that's actually way easier before your stomach gets full. After the JJ Watt debacle, after this Philly tush-push 999 challenge handout central, you know what? I just might.
You have to, dude. They're trying to cut corners. They're trying to give handouts. It's never going to end unless you tell them exactly how it has to be. And we
never cut corners, Jovan. 2 words. Never cut corners.
Ever.
That's the Lido Pizza way. How about that, Goots? How about that, Goots? Best pizza on the East Coast.
Mark.
Kids these days know nothing about stuffing a pocket dog and taking it to a new city on the train.
You'll forget Krabs did that. It's actually crazy.
They know nothing about that. They know nothing about hard work, earning your keep, grinding out there, and fucking working hard and battling through adversity. They know nothing about pocket dogs. They know nothing about the old 10-10-10 challenge. They're just fucking handout central and me guys these days, man. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Makes me sick. Those little fucking tiny half dogs. Those aren't fucking hot dogs. And those aren't full beers. Those are not regulation size. Goots, get them off my screen, man. What a joke. What a joke. Let's go to the Sharp Report. Let's look at some winners for today. Makes me sick. Fucking handout Jalen Hurts, tush push ass fucking 999 challenge. Let's talk about the plays for today. Jovan, it ain't much, but it's honest work. We don't have a great slate today. Okay? Doesn't mean we can't find winners. Not an excuse. Just means we got to work a little bit harder. We're going to be a little bit better. Okay? Got to lock in here. Got to talk about some winners for tonight. Unfortunately, the Hokies game is not tonight. That would be a great game to flex on a Friday night down there in Lane Stadium. But I digress. We're stuck with Western Kentucky, Delaware, Charlotte, USF, New Mexico, San Jose State, West Virginia, BYU, and Colorado State, San Diego State. Some of the worst teams in college football playing tonight. Okay? Well, smells like a great day for Krabby to bounce back and make some coins on this disgusting, nasty slate. Okay? Let's lock in. JJJ Quack, Colony Grill. I will never eat that dog food anymore now that it's in Yankee Stadium. It's literally the best pizza of all time. If you go get the hot oil, best pizza ever. Can't eat it anymore. Haven't eaten it in a year since I found out it's in fucking Yankee Stadium. They ruined that shit too. Let's talk about Charlotte. Also, your mic does not sound great. I'll say it.
Doesn't?
Let me talk about Charlotte while we try to fix it here. Let me talk about Charlotte. Okay? Jovan, they're getting 27.5 points against everybody's favorite darling, USF. They got Byron Brown. They pulled off some crazy upsets this year. They beat Florida. They beat Boise. I guess now that Florida win doesn't look as special or as shiny as it did in week 2. They lost to Miami, obviously. They got destroyed. We were on Miami in that game, minus 17.5, one of the freest wagers of all time. And then after they lost that game on the road at Miami, they destroyed South Carolina State, as they should. It's South Carolina State, respectfully. So USF here is laying a ton of points. They're laying 27.5 points, 28.5 points. Depends on where you're looking. But, Jovan, there's some weather on the horizon here in this game. It's going to be windy. There might be some rain in this game. I'm not a meteorologist, okay? Not going to sit up here and get behind a fucking green screen and point at a fucking weather map like I am literally on the Weather Channel. No, I'm just going to bring it up. Obviously, like the dog, when you're getting this many points, if there's some weather, if there's some winds, and that's the most I'll talk about the weather in that game. But I want to back this Charlotte team. It was kind of trendy before the season started. They haven't done much really to back that up whatsoever. They're 1-3 at this point. They're not covering. They're 1-3 against the spread, against 3-1 against the spread, USF, against 3-1 overall, USF, and everybody's favorite group of 4 team. Great story. Great coach who might be the next Hokies coach. Who knows? He'll probably be coaching a Power 4 team next year and taking all his players somewhere. But this USF team, I think they've run their course, Jovan. I think they had their time. I think they peaked at Florida in week 2, and now it's time to fade these guys. Okay, these guys played last year. USF hung a 60 piece on them. They beat them 60-24. Okay, the last time they played before that, the year before that, USF won 48-14. Okay, we'll take the points in this game. A little revenge angle here for Charlotte. Probably the least wanted to be bet on team on the slate today, and there's a lot of shitty teams on the gridiron tonight. Who wants to take Charlotte, who has been so abysmal, so bad, they can't move the rock, their defense is atrocious? Who wants to bet on this team getting 4 touchdowns against everybody's public darling, USF and Byron Brown? Pretty sure it's only just me. And that's the exact spot you want to be in. Sharpest splits on the slate tonight in Charlotte. Okay? We'll take the points. We're probably going to need them.
Just you. All right. Can I get any confirms? Does it sound better?
You sound so much better.
Okay. Using mic now.
You sound so much better.
Let's go.
Thoughts on Charlotte and fading the Bulls tonight?
I am kind of down for Charlotte.
Okay.
Gross game. Yeah. Gross game. Hearing there's some heavy wins there, which is not good for Byron Brown throwing the ball through the air, which would be good. Is this the 3U whale? I'm hoping.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
Also, now your mic is going in and out. God damn it. You might have to get really, really close to that mic.
Inside mic.
Literally, you might have to be in there. Yep. You might have to be in there, unfortunately.
Okay.
Good. Yep. Take it, Charlotte, for a measly unit here on the spread. Let's swing it around. Let's see what Jovan's on for today and see what he's crafting up. How about some points?
Yeah, let's take a point or take some points in a game between 2 teams that did not score a touchdown this last week. Either of them. Really bad. Obviously, you had eyes on what San Diego State was doing, and that just god-awful ball game. And I had eyes because I took the over in that past game for Colorado State's offense, which actually moved the ball decently well for a majority of the game, but it always broke down come close to the red zone or getting in field goal range. I think they missed 2 as well. So it all fell apart. And I want to go back to it now, which is weird because obviously the total is pretty low in this game to start with. I saw some 38 and a half, 39 and a half, but 2 teams that combined for 9 points and 3 field goals last week. Why would the total go up 3 points? I'll tell you why. Because both these offenses, like just what we were talking about with Colorado State, they had a weird last game because it was the first full game of Jackson Brousseau, which I think he's not that much better than Fowler Nicolosi, but he's in there for a reason, not just because of the fake injury bullshit that they're trying to pull out. He's a little better, I guess, keeping control or I guess managing the drives a little bit. Nicolosi takes a couple chances and then puts them in third and second and long pretty often. Brousseau can actually get them down the field a little bit, chunking down, which is exactly what you need to do against San Diego State because they'll be bend, don't break. But once I think they get down there in the red zone, I think Colorado State's going to be able to convert. So I think it kind of works out for them. And then San Diego State should be able to run literally all over this Colorado State defense. It's going to be a lot of Sutton, a lot of Lucky Sutton is going to be the main show. And then obviously Jaden Denigal can do it with his feet as well. Adds a little different dimension to this offense. So I think really bad game for San Diego State on the road last week. Offensively, I think they bounce back and gives a little life to Colorado State as well. And we'll talk about a square that's up in this game that seems pretty important, but I'm going with points.
I like it. You better hope that Taj Bullock doesn't go in this game very often. He's terrible.
Yeah.
They're probably going to use 2 QBs, though, right? They use him in the red zone a little bit. See if they can use his legs. Former Hokie.
You probably won't see much.
He's up on Prize Picks, which I thought was interesting. They've got like a set of package plays for him, but yeah, we'll see how much he's in the puppy.
Yeah, just like a what? Like they use? Why am I blanking on the other UNLV quarterback? Orgy.
Yep. Change of pace a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for bringing up the worst game of all time as well last week, San Diego State and NIU.
Yeah, that game was moose. It was moose for everybody involved. Can you imagine paying for a ticket to that game?
It was just who could punt it the furthest.
It literally was.
And that's who wins the game.
You imagine
punt off.
Dude, chat. Imagine P for P in that game.
Yeah, you'd be getting 20 what you paid for.
Dude, you would get
and then some.
All possible angles. She'd run out.
And then some.
She'd run out. No, let's move. Let's move.
All right.
We'll get back to Krabs.
San Diego State has one of the best kickers that nobody knows about in college football, by the way. He's a chunky guy. Gabriel Placencia. Dude's a fucking stick. Lefty, redshirt senior. Might be getting a shot to kick on Sundays. Had to bring that up. Let's hope he's active plenty in this game, Jovan.
Yeah, I hope not.
Well, maybe he makes record 10 field goals.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's people don't realize too, because I remember, I think it was this team actually. I think it was like the first San Diego State over of the year. I think they're playing. That was when they're playing Wazoo. It was like when you watch this game with a lot of these teams, you realize just how little like points are needed to get you on pace when you need, in this case, like 42 points. It's not very much for these offenses. So not saying it's just going to breeze past it, but it's very marginal. So maybe, yeah, we're rooting for him to kick field goals.
Okay. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving here. Can I take you guys to the W? Tonight's a perfect night for the W. Shout out the W for getting a game on tonight when there's not many games on. They usually don't do that. But tonight, must-see TV. You got Phoenix, you got Vegas, and we're heading to the Michelob Ultra Arena, folks. Lock the fuck in, strap in, and get involved. Jovan, this ain't Ma and Pa's aces, man. I'll say it. It's not. This team is just not as dominant as they once were. I don't know if it's because Asia Wilson more distracted with hanging out with Ben and taking pictures for the feed in that sense. Maybe she's lost her fastball a little bit. Or maybe she's just peaked. I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. But this team has not looked the same this entire season, not just of late, not just in the playoffs, but this whole year. I don't know. It just felt off. It's like I compare it to like the Dodgers this regular season where something just felt off. They're missing a piece or something. And Team just did not look as dominant. Now, as soon as they get into the playoffs, though, just like the Dodgers mucked up the Reds, the Aces have done job, although it has not been as easy as it was for the Dodgers against the Reds. There's been some overtime games. There's been some longer series than people expected. But the Aces did get it done. They advanced. They survived. And the Aces have had good success against this Phoenix Mercury squad this entire season. They've beaten them 4 of the 5 times they played them, which I thought was interesting seeing the spreads. When they were at home, they're only laying 3.5 points against the team they own, against a team that nobody really likes, against a team that does not have one of the few superstars in this league. I thought that was interesting. I did. I thought they'd be getting closer to a touchdown in this game. And I want to get involved here. I want to fade the Aces and back the Phoenix Mercury on the road, getting a field goal in the hook in the McUltra Arena. I think they catch Vegas sleeping here in the first game of the series. I do. I think they catch them sleeping. Maybe an upset here. Maybe outright, but I'll take the points. I'm no heathen. I'm no caveman. I'll take the points. Phoenix look great. They closed the series out very, very strong against Minnesota after losing game 1 to Minnesota, Jovan. They got spanked 82-69, and then they ripped off 3 straight outright wins. Crazy. I think this series flips. I think we see Mercury, who just, like I said, in their last series, lost game 1, but then ripped off 3 straight wins in a row. I think this time around, this series, we go contrarian. We take them to win game 1, or at least cover game 1, and then you see the Aces take over later on in the series and probably find a way to win. But in game 1, let's fade the Aces here. Let's take the dog. Dogs are going to be barking tonight in Vegas in the Michelob Ultra Arena.
Sure. Love
Okay?
you to get one on the W to start the finals, dude. That would be good.
Need it. After that atrocious under I gave out last week. Need it. Need it.
Would be goated.
Okay? Dubs. All right. Swinging around.
Go with Western Kentucky.
Wow.
Between, I guess, this and San Jose State, I think there's some fake sharp. Hopefully it's this and not San Jose State. But between the two short home favorites today, Delaware has sneakily been super impressive in their first FBS season. And not just like taking they were pretty decent for a majority of the game against Colorado, too, defensively, and then end of the game broke down. But they took care of UConn, scoring 44 points in the midst of it. Well, they're 9.5-point underdogs. They beat the shit out of FIU, which FIU is FIU. But again, this is a first-year FBS team. Now they're coming off of a bye, hosting a Western Kentucky team that offensively has been fine. Like the pass attack has been exactly what you thought it was going to be with Maverick McIver. But they can't really run the ball. The defense is what the defense is pretty much every single year. So seems like a good spot, you would think, for Delaware. But now, after 2 straight huge wins against FBS competition, the Hunters become the hunted. Now they're favorites, which I think, first of all, the run defense has been solid, but it's been against really bad running teams, like we just talked about between I'll leave out the FCS game, but Colorado can't run the ball, even though they've started to do it better, I guess, over the past couple of games. A little bit of that's Caden Salter's legs, but not a running team. UConn can't run the ball. FIU can't run the ball. Western Kentucky can't run the ball, and they don't. It's not how they're built, but what's a perfect way to get it going when they least expect you to, especially when you have as good of a downfield pass attack as they have. So I think they go in against this team that's been good, overperformed expectations so far, but I think this defense is not going to hold up against this aerial attack for Western Kentucky, and McIver is going to have an absolute day. It's the perfect time to sell high on the Delaware Blue Hens.
Sell high on the Blue Hens, who've been red hot. Fade that -2.5 number. And back to Hilltoppers. They've looked pretty good under a new regime here. They've looked pretty good so far this season, putting up some points. And playing a little bit of defense, which is kind of rare for them. Besides that Toledo game, they've looked really sharp so far this season. They were actually losing to Sam Houston in their season opener, getting spanked early, and they came back and dropped a 41 piece on them. So this is not a team I want to be fading, and certainly a sleeper group of 4 team or group of 5 team that nobody's talking about a ton here this season in the Hilltoppers. They might be back.
Yeah.
Might be back.
+2.5.
2.5. Disrespectful against Delaware. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving here. I got one more straight bet for you guys. This is how we get our lick back tonight. This is the 3-unit play, backing EGAT, backing former Navy coach, legend out there in San Jose State, and backing Floyd Chalk IV, Coach Ken on the money line. big game for Coach Ken. People forget this team could easily be 3-1. They've had some mistakes. This team has been better than their record so far this season, and it's a now or never must-win spot here for the Spartans against a New Mexico team that's coming in winners of 3 in a row. Perfect time to buy low on the Spartans and perfect time to sell high on the Lobos here, coming in off a big-time rivalry win against New Mexico State, a game they covered in. Let's not forget they also beat UCLA outright. They were plus 15.5. I know UCLA stinks. I know they have number one me guy in the nation in Nico as their QB. I understand they suck. They're 0-4 still. God, Nico, what a joke. I understand they suck. But 15.5 points, and that's big and bad UCLA. That's a legitimate program. Not New Mexico. New Mexico's won 3 games in a row. They beat Idaho State the game before that as well. Sure. Well, Jovan, I don't know if you've been tapped into this series much in recent years. I'm sure you're at least relatively familiar. Spartans have New Mexico's number. And now the Lobos have not been elite in recent years, but they've been no slouch. They've definitely been a better program than the Spartans have been, at least until Coach Ken's gotten there. But Spartans have beaten them 4 of the last 5 times they played, going back to 2015. So I think Coach Ken gets a big-time must-need win, stops the bleeding here after a couple brutal losses. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. New Mexico sell high after 3 straight dubs, including that win to UCLA. This one's going to be high scoring. This one's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be must-see TV. It's on Fox Sports 1 tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern. Do not miss this game tonight, whether you're betting this shit or not. This is how we get our coins back. Backing Walter Egat, who's a pretty underrated QB still in my mind. He makes some mistakes. I get it. If he was perfect, he'd be playing at fucking Alabama. We'll take what we can get here. But Coach Ken, just like he did last year with Nick Nash, Coach Ken has built his offense around the strengths. And that's feed Floyd Chalk early on downs, get a couple yards, and then let Walter Egat cook. And that's exactly what they're going to do tonight against this atrocious New Mexico defense. They're winning this game outright. They get it done at home. It's just the hungrier team that needs to fucking win in this spot. They're favorites here for a reason against the much better 3-1 New Mexico Lobos. Perfect time to fade.
Let's go. I went with the over in that game, which is probably I have my gross over. I have my fun square over, and this is that one. Last week, my main concern here for San Jose State, and again, it doesn't have to come at cost of them losing the game and not covering, but you know how many yards Ben Goldbranson threw against them last week?
Probably not many.
444.
Jesus. Okay.
That is insane.
So they might just be bad. You're not getting contrarian here. You're just fading a terrible defense.
Yeah, that's pretty much what
Okay.
I'm doing on both sides. Like, I think
Okay.
the SJSU defense, they're going to have to sling the rock to win. They're no strangers to that. They're not afraid to do that. But the defense is going to have some problems, especially when you introduce, they're not good against a run either. When you introduce a quarterback that's also going to run, use his legs, and Jack Lane. So I think it's going to be what you think it's going to be in this game with a lot of poor defense. And on the other side, too, supporting you, like this New Mexico State defense or New Mexico defense, as we saw last week, which God knows, Logan Fife, after what we saw yesterday, might be the second coming of Tom Brady.
He might just be good. Yeah.
But I mean, he rattled off explosives against that defense. And I think it can be the same here for Walker Egat. And Danny Scudero is probably going to have a day. He's their new Nick Nash. He's got a billion 100-yard games at this point. His line is literally 114.5 tonight. So I don't even know if you're going to have to use Floyd Chalk all that much because that New Mexico secondary is god fucking awful.
Right.
Somehow they held Nico under wraps because he's just that bad. The UCLA program is in shambles. They're not going to do that today against San Jose State.
Right.
The Walker Egat attack. So I just went with the over, hoping San Jose State does the bulk of it for you.
Yep. I like the over. I do. There's a reason it's moving up that much. God, to 59 some places now. Holy smokes. Couple things. Number one, can you angle that mic a little bit lower? Can you tilt it down a little bit towards the other way? Yep. Keep going. A little bit more. Yep. Perfect. We got OT Logan getting involved, dropping a resub as well. WOT Logan, we appreciate you getting involved, my man. Thank you for the subby coming in with some good vibes, some good energy, and dropping a subby for the people. Very generous. Team player out there, OT Logan, blessing up the chat with a subby. Love to see it. Love to see it. All right. Side note, really quick. Who do you think covers the Aztecs-Rams game? Do you think Colorado State's the sharp play at plus 6.5? Are my eyes deceiving me there? I know they suck, but
Yeah.
is that the play?
Feels like to me that this game is close in the first half, then Colorado State or San Diego State, sorry, ends up covering in the second half.
Okay.
So I don't really care to do it because I don't want to fade San Diego State at all as far as taking the Colorado State side, but probably lean San Diego State if anything.
Okay. All right.
But I do have some pro Colorado State square we can talk about.
Sure. Let's get to our squares. Let's talk about them. I'm fading Nimrod. What a name. I'm fading Chaz tonight in what should be a rain game or at least some wins. Most popular square tonight on the board for college football is Chaz Nimrod, who's been literally A.J. Brown in his prime, has literally been Calvin Johnson, prime Megatron, so far this season for the Bulls. I think you're going to have to see Byron Brown use his legs more in this game to find success, not only because of the weather, but because of the matchup. And when UCF goes up 10 at halftime, they're going to get extra fat, happy, and complacent. And you might even see Coach try a couple new things. It's like when Kirby Smart in Georgia, they're playing against shit teams. And you see Coach try a lot of different new things, some new sets out there, some new formations to try stuff out for later on in the season. You might see that a little bit here with USF and Byron Brown in an extremely fat, happy, complacent spot against a Charlotte team that they should not lose to outright at all. So don't expect them to do what they've done this entire season, and that's fade Chaz Nimrod. And again, why would you take a receivers more than in a game where they should be up a bunch of points in this one? And look, I do think USF wins this game. I'm not saying Charlotte wins outright, okay? I do think it'll be a little bit closer than that number is, but I'm not saying they're going to lose by 7. They're still going to lose by 17, 20 points, okay? The spread is 27.5 for the love of God. So you're not going to see Chaz much in the second half, I guess is my point here. He might get, 30 or 40 yards in the first half, and then you might not hear his name the rest of the game. Let's fade the most popular square in college football up on Prize Picks today, and let's make coins. If you fade that square on Prize Picks more often than you don't, you're making coins. So take the lesson on Chaz Nimrod. What a name. Wide receiver 1 for the Bulls.
Great name, great player too. He's their deep threat guy though. So if the wind is actually that big of a factor, and if they're up a million in this game, it's a great situation to fade.
Huge. No need to pull out all the tricks and call your great plays to get him the ball down the field 50 yards against Charlotte. Keep those plays in your bag, Coach.
Yep.
Right? Do not tell me. Also, Ken Bands, I thought we were changing the vibes, man. I thought we were changing the vibes. I thought we were going to be better going forward. Do not tell me that Beeve just fucking posted a video of him dunking.
Nah.
Is that true?
You might be cooked, Krabs.
No, he did not.
Someone chirped saying that his standing dunk and his attributes should not be where they are, and then he posted the video of him dunking.
No, he did not.
Jeez.
Brother.
Line just moved to 10.5.
I couldn't even cover the dude up the street for 2 fucking pickup games yesterday. And he's out here dunking? I'm so fucking cooked. I am so cooked. Look, I'm still going to give it my all, folks. I might have a heart attack on the court. We might need one of those defibrillators close because I'm getting a little concerned here. And yeah, Trent's not going to give me any quick whistles.
Not a single call.
I'm not getting any fucking whistles from Trent. Golly. He's just going to be sitting there in a stupid fucking zebra fit, hate watching, laughing, and enjoying the show. I can already see it. Might have to fake an injury. Okay. Oh, you guys are telling me that video's from high school. Okay. I don't know if that's more impressive or less. Probably less.
It's a little different.
Probably less. Maybe he's not in dunking shape. Krabs, I think you should straight punch him and set the tone. I think I'm good, be young. Thank you, though. Punch him?
Dude,
punch him.
Maybe you just throw a quick elbow, get started.
Quick bow?
Yeah.
Quick bow to the nose. See if I can break that puppy.
Maybe you just be Draymond this whole 1v1.
Bro, he told me his player comp is Draymond Green. I'm like, brother, you're 180 pounds.
Yeah.
How is your player comp Draymond Green? And then I'm thinking to myself, Beef, maybe he was that tall in high school. Maybe he peaked in high school. They probably had him playing the 4 or the 5. He's going to have plenty of experience against big bodies like me.
Yeah.
Man. Golly. Need a hard foul early out of you, Krabs, set the tone. I'm not opposed to that. Maybe a charge? Imagine.
Charge? You think Trent's giving you a charge?
Oh, boy. All right. Let me talk about Chelsea Gray and why we're taking her less than 10.5 points tonight. Like the under in this game. Jovan, obviously I'm on the other side, fading the aces tonight. Have you taken a gander over there at the WNBA category today? Well, that's a shame. That's a real shame, Jovan. The most popular square by far, almost 100,000 people have taken Chelsea Gray, not her normal 10.5 square, Jovan. But Prize Picks is putting up an 11.5 point demon for you. So they'll say, hey, you could take them. You could take her at 1 point higher at a demon price. And people are going, oh, okay. I'll go ahead and click that button and I'm going to make money on this. Guys, come on. Use your brains. 100,000 people are taking an 11.5 point demon when her normal square is at 10.5, thinking to themselves, she only has to get 1 more point. How hard could that be? Right? That should be easy. Guys, nothing in this game is easy, man. If it is, it's fake sharp. Okay? 100,000 people taking that demon. By the way, her normal 10.5 line on the books is minus 120 to the under after she's been splooging. Splooging. Fader. Like the under in the game, fade the aces on the sharp report here and taking the Mercury. Give me the less than on the most popular square for the W tonight. Not personal, just business.
Here we go.
Just business. All right, swinging around. Let's hear these sell jobs from Jovan. And pretty sure Chris P. I don't think he played college ball. If he did, I'm actually fucked.
Yeah,
pretty sure he just played high school ball.
No, I think he played. Did he play like some Moose College?
No shot.
Pretty sure.
Oh my God, I'm cooked. He played JUCO or something, Chipper? Did he play JUCO? Go over your squares, Jovan.
Krabs, why are you sitting here just complaining and not? This isn't contrary.
What are we doing?
Complaining, putting your hands in your face.
We're
Lock
putting
in.
hands in head.
Goots, I'm starting to realize what's about to happen on Monday. Goots, you wouldn't even score a point.
I'm not saying I would,
game.
but you're the one in this position, so lock in. I don't care that he played college ball.
Come on, Krabs. No, like we can't have confidence weaning. It's Friday.
All right. I'll lock in. I'll be confident. I'll be arrogant. I'll win this game outright. You guys are right. That's smart. That's smart. Great call, Goots.
Yeah, great call. I know. Get the
Great
money
call,
line
Goots.
betters hype.
Great call, Goots. You're right.
Yep.
Bully ball. I'm
Bully
going to
ball.
back him down and fucking grind on him like a 7th grade first party you ever go to in your life.
All right. Okay. That's not what I was looking for.
Goots.
What?
It's on you, brother.
I didn't tell you to say grind on him.
I'm going to be grinding up on him, man.
Eddie Lampkin layup package.
I'm so cooked. I'm so cooked.
All right. Jackson Brissell.
Jackson Brissell. Obviously, both teams didn't score a touchdown at all last week. Colorado State managed a measly field goal. That was Jackson Brissell's first game as the new starting quarterback for Colorado State. Now the new play caller, I don't know, I guess he's not the new OC, but he's calling the plays now, Matt Mom. This is his guy. He's excited about him. He said, we're going to put the ball in your hands for the entirety of the season. Go be electric. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's like a game manager, so he was better than Nicolosi, like taking everything short and underneath. Now, I think especially when points are going to be flowing a lot more than last week in this matchup between the two teams, I think he's gonna have a chance to get it in the end zone, especially because San Diego State has been very solid against the run against teams that don't run it very well, which Colorado State kind of is. They're pretty inefficient. So I think you're going to be asked to put it in the end zone, and I think he's going to do it. Hence why the square is up after the whole team didn't score a touchdown last week. Then Bear Bachmeier, not too scared about the potential non-neutral game script in this because they are big favorites. But the way West Virginia's defense has always been built, even this year, they've switched coaches a billion times through, and it's still largely the same thing. A much better run defense than they are a pass defense, especially because their safeties this year, especially, are really good run defenders, and they will bring them up and be super aggressive. And they're probably going to do that a lot against the BYU rushing attack that has been fucking amazing, really all of this year, especially the last couple weeks. But they're very aggressive with their safeties. They're great tacklers in space, not great in coverage. So I think a couple times today, you're going to see pretty big play action deep shots from Bear Bachmeier, which he really hasn't been asked to do all year because they've been playing some really bad run defenses. So now in a game that I think has the potential at least to start a lot closer than some people think in this one, and God knows BYU is also in the Pickett plan, so we'll see if something goes wrong there. I think Bear Bachmeier is going to be asked to throw the ball a lot more in the past couple days, last couple games, taking his pass yards.
I thought about taking his less than 1.5 touchdowns, so this is music to my ears. You don't want to take the less than 1.5 tutties?
No, because I think he's going to pass it more. Doesn't have to be a touchdown. Doesn't have to be a touchdown, but I think that's the game.
Do you think they might be trailing at any point in this game? Do you think Dub B might be a live dog?
Yeah, early a little bit. I think there's potential, especially because I don't know what they're going to do play calling wise now that it's officially full. No Nico Marchiol. He's gone. He's transferring, redshirting. So now it's probably just going to be Henderson. I assume they're not going to try and go to anybody else. So maybe they jump out on him early. I feel like a lot of times with these games with big dogs playing in Provo, they always jump out early, then it seems to fall apart. So that would be ideal, I guess.
Yep. All right. Yeah, Chad, I'm going to try to add a little stipulation during the game where each player gets a timeout because I'm going to need one. I'm going to need one during the 1v1.
We need a Goots pep talk on the sidelines.
You're my coach, Jovan. I need a pep talk from you.
I'm the coach. I'm Doc Rivers.
You're my coach. You're my coach.
I'm Doc.
So either show up in a suit or a sweatsuit or something. Look sharp.
Okay.
You're my coach. Okay. Goots is filming this puppy. And then MJ is going to be B's coach. And then Trent's going to ref. Okay? Yeah, you're literally Coach Knock.
I'm Coach
this weekend or Monday. Okay? Need you, man. I need a pep talk. I need some plays. We got a clipboards. Feel free to get in the lab. Draw a couple plays up.
Draw a couple plays up 1v1?
For 1v1. I don't know what the play would entail. It would just be a bunch of fucking lines and arrows and shit. But draw some plays up for me, will you?
Okay.
Keep a couple in your back pocket. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving. W squares. Bear Bachmeier. What a fucking name. What a name.
You know,
we got Big Cheesy dropping a subby.
Shout out Big Cheesy. We were going through last night all the top 25 teams to see how many Trent could name. Less than half. But then we started
college football.
Yeah, less than half. So we started getting to some of the fringe teams, which BYU's ranked, I guess, but some of the fringe teams couldn't name either. All of the teams, college teams in the Pickett plan, not named Cincinnati, couldn't name.
I mean, are you surprised?
Didn't know Tennessee, and then he would go back and ask him again after 5 minutes after asking it, and he still couldn't get it.
Was he post chops or was he fresh minded?
He might have been a little post chop, but
that doesn't matter with Trent though. It shouldn't.
He went 12 for 25 in the top 25 as the host of the coin toss. That's really bad.
I'm assuming he didn't have UVA, did he?
No, he didn't. You didn't know him.
After they had the biggest win in school history?
Nope. And after the quarterback literally came from TCU. Didn't know him.
Unbelievable. Was he even mad about the Rams losing outright last night, or was he just mad about his wagers?
I mean, no, he's not a Rams fan.
Apparently he is.
Oh, I know he says he is, but yeah.
Oh, man. All right. I cannot wait to hear what Trent, LC, Rab, Jovan are on the coin toss, 2 p.m. Eastern today. right after BTL, guys. Don't go anywhere. Once BTL ends, Jovan on a legacy shift today. He was on the Yap earlier, and shout out Trent for finding out the old Yap in the AM today. Good fucking work. He was on the Yap. He's on BTL. He's better do coin toss. That's a 3-piece.
Yeah,
If I've ever seen one.
weekend,
And how about Total Slayer coming in, dropping a 10-unit sub? Well, let's go Total Slayer.
Damn.
Let's go Total Slayer.
Yeah, Slayer.
And I believe the coin toss is only on the YouTube live. Is that correct?
believe so. Unless that changed.
I believe that is true. So if you guys are watching on Twitch, that's great. Stay here until the squad ride's done. Okay? But we need you guys heading over to the YouTubes, dropping a subby, and getting involved for the coin toss. If you have not watched the coin toss, the dynamic is great. It's pretty much just everybody shitting on Rav, and then Trent giving out 5 losers in a row. And then Jovan and LC giving out winners. So if you're into that type of thing, it's honestly a really good show. I really enjoy it. It's been great for the last couple of weeks. I like the live version of it. Keep killing it.
Noted.
Keep killing it. Thank you, Canadian Goots. Yeah, it's pretty much a Spark Notes summary for you there about how the show goes. Okay. Let's move. Let's groove. Yeah, Jovan, we didn't even give you some flowers for this one. Kendrick Bourne, great fucking call last night.
Yeah.
And look,
not gonna
you battled through that being the Twitter POD. You battled through that being everyone's favorite play. Who gives a fuck? Play was free as heck. The dude turned into literally prime Megatron.
Dude, he was
in that game.
He was AB out there. Slayer's fantasy team might have just won from that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not gonna think I
great work.
pulled that out of my ass. Was the only person on that. We all kind of figured that out, but glad he got there with ease.
Yep. All right. Again, Total Slayer, you're him. We got a hype train moving and grooving chat for another 30 seconds. If you want to keep that puppy humming and keep the hype train alive, now is the time. Get involved. Also, if you are having trouble with your survivor pool, if it's not letting you pick, if it's still stuck on next week, whether it's the normal pool or whether it's the GOAT pool, please DM me. I'm getting a ton of DMs about errors. People are sending me their screenshots. They're sending me their email, and I'm getting it taken care of. Please DM me today. Please DM me today, and do not wait until Sunday morning. Everybody go and check and make sure that shit works. Okay? Thank you, guys. Let's move. Let's groove. Let's move. Let's groove. All right, W Squares here. Why don't we go ahead and hop in and talk a little bit about the college football weekend preview, gents? Are you ready?
Get there.
Boots, run that shit. All right, chat. Let's get you guys right for the weekend. Okay? Let's get you guys right for the weekend. Krabs, mine's broken. It says I took Joe Flacco 2 passing touchdowns week 1. Okay. Okay. Pick 6. Cannot tell if you're fucking around or not. You probably are, but if you're not, DM me.
Nah,
We'll get it fixed.
probably actually did.
Yeah. All right. DM me. I'll get it taken care of later today. Okay? All right. Let's talk about some winners for this weekend in college. Couple unders. We'll get these puppies out of the way. And does that say Army? Fuck, it's supposed to say Navy. God damn it. And that's my fault because I put it in there wrong on the goddamn sheet. Dude, what am I doing? Air Force and Navy play this weekend. This is the under that we're taking. Under 51.5. I apologize, Goots and Daniel. That's on me. Get my military academies mixed up here. Taking the under in Air Force and Navy. Taking the under in Air Force and Navy. Chat, I'm up fucking 10 units, 46 and 31 in college football this year. I am locked. Give me a break. Taking the under in Air Force and Army, or Air Force and Navy, excuse me. Air Force has hit the over in every single game this season, Jovan. If I told you that preseason and said they'd hit 4 straight overs, you'd probably be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Air Force? Right? Slow, methodical, terrible at offense. Typically, they show heart. They hang in there on defense. They play bend, don't break. You'd probably be surprised, right, if I said that. Navy 3-1 to the over as well. Okay? So both these teams, you wouldn't expect it, really, looking at these squads, but both these teams are prone for some points, but Jovan. Nobody knows each other better besides maybe Army and Navy. Then Air Force and Navy. These guys play each other every year. They know what fucking type of coffee the other team's drinking in the morning. They know what color socks the other team's wearing during the game. These guys know everything about each other. These games simply mean more. Rivalry games, Air Force and Navy, these two fucking teams hate each other's guts. Okay, and that smells like an under to me. All right, when these two teams have played, they've hit the under in 3 of the last 4 years they've played. Navy finally ended the streak. Air Force had their number for a while, man. Even when Navy was a better squad and Air Force was kind of trending downwards, even in the last couple of years, Air Force has been just better in this matchup, and they've actually won 4 of the last 5 times they played, which is crazy. So we're taking the under in this game. We're fading offenses. We're fading points. Air Force is coming off a 35-44 game against Hawaii. The game before that, they scored 37 points against Boise State. They gave up 49. Holy smokes. They're coming off of the most over games I've ever seen. The game before that, Jovan, they played Utah State. That's also prone for some overs. And they lost 30-49. These games aren't just going over. They are soaring over. Soaring. And Jovan, the total in this game, wouldn't you think after I told you all that, the total will be moving up? No. The total's moving down from 55.5 to 51.5. This is the nastiest, stinkiest, best under you can take on the slate this weekend. These teams know everything about each other's schemes, play calls, everything. And it's going to be a snooze fest. Air Force at Navy. It's also a massive letdown spot for Navy against a team they've struggled with a ton in recent years. Nobody knows this Navy squad like me. And I'll tell you right now, I'm scared about this spot. And I think this game soars under. You won't see me fade Navy. I guess my way of doing it is taking the under in this game this weekend. This is going to be the easiest bet you take this weekend. There's not even going to be 40 points in this game.
Air Force, Navy, unders.
I need you getting real close to that, Mike. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Real close.
Literally inside
real
right
close.
now.
Yep, good.
All right. I'll take you to Nebraska. We got a matchup between Dylan Raiola and Aiden Childs, both coming off of a bye. And this total's moving down, which is odd. Another thing that just like if you told me Air Force has went over damn near every game this year, I forget what exactly you said, but I would have been shocked. If I told you this is 3 straight games now where a team in a Michigan State game has scored 40 points, would you be a little shocked?
I would be shocked. I would be shocked.
Made a little more sense with USC, but some of the other games, really interesting. Michigan State's pass defense has been actually really, really bad. But I think, which maybe this is not the greatest example because the game still went over last night, but I feel the same way about what the Niners are going to do offensively or we're going to do offensively is what Michigan State kind of has to do because Nebraska's pass defense is really, really good. Aiden Childs has been slinging the ball a little more than I think a lot of people thought this year, and he's been kind of good at it. We'll give him some credit. They got some pretty bad defenses, albeit, but I think if you're Michigan State, you want to take the air out of the ball in this one. You want to put maybe this is like one of the first times where you really, really utilize Aiden Childs' legs on the ground a little bit more. You're milking clock. You're seeing if the ground game can get a little bit going, as you showed with, I guess, like obviously Michigan's going to run the ball well on Nebraska because Michigan can run the ball against anybody pretty well. But honestly, like Cincinnati, dating back to the week 1 game where they really didn't have anything going offensively but the run game, Nebraska's run defense, I don't think is nearly as stout as some people think. So I think Michigan State is going to try and take advantage of that a little bit, milk some clock, keep the ball out of Dylan Raiola's hands against their really bad pass defense. And I also think they're going to play some pretty deep shell coverage and try to keep everything in front of them, just like Cincinnati did, make Dylan Raiola be a check down merchant and bend don't break the entire time, which is probably why his total's been moving down a little bit with how many points have been scored in not just Michigan State games, but Nebraska just played what was probably your cookie cutter under game against Michigan, and that game had 57 points, even though it started off a little slow. So now I think we see a classic Big Ten slugfest where nobody really gets out too much in the pass game. A lot of running the football.
Yep. Love this play. Great sell job, Jovan. Snooze fest in Michigan State and Nebraska this weekend. Okay. Austin Rendy's coming in, dropping a subby as well. Austin, you are him. Don't let anybody tell you differently, man. You are him. We appreciate you. Let's keep moving and grooving, keeping the tempo and the pace extra crispy. Okay. Any thoughts on the Iowa State under? I have a feeling we'll be talking about that game later, Snacks. Maybe not the total, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's talk about some overs. Vandy wins this game outright again. Am I crazy? Am I
No.
crazy to say that? I'm fully bought in, man. I've learned my lesson. I've seen it firsthand against my Hokies. I've watched it on the biggest of stages. And sure, Diego Pavia is a me guy. Don't get me wrong. He is. He's on the list that I'm making. He is a me guy. But he's fucking good. He is. And Bama's starting to get their shit together, man. Right? After Bama dropped that game to start the season, they've been on fire. They're back ranked number 10 in the country. Their college football playoff hopes are alive again. I'm not looking like such a fucking dingbot when I said they're going to go to the college football playoffs and be really good this year, and I look like an idiot after week one. Well, they're starting to kind of lock in here. And everybody, sharps and the squares combined, are all saying Bama's getting their lick back from last year. Are they? I'm a big Bama guy, Jovan. You know, I've been talking about them all offseason. I like betting them. We said they'd win against Georgia last week. They did. Great play. And you guys are going back and you're betting Bama again after they just beat Georgia? I don't know, man. I want to take Diego Pavia to do the unthinkable, do the impossible, and go out there and upset Bama twice. They might just do it. Well, for this bet, I like it even more. And it's certainly more realistic, Jovan. I like the over in this game, but I don't want to go anywhere near back in tie and back in the Tides and their offense in this game. Some of the squares on Prize Picks sketching me out a hair. The only pass plus rush plus receiving square up there on the board right now, and that'll probably change by tomorrow. But as of right now, and it's been up all week, is this Ty Simpson 2.5 pass plus rush plus receiving touchdown square. Certainly scares me. It's extremely green. Looks like a very easy play against Vanderbilt's defense. That might keep me off the full game over. Just that square alone.
Yeah.
Had a pretty good read on that category so far this season as well, Jovan. So I'm taking Vandy here to score some points. I want nothing going on with this Bama team after a big time win against Georgia last week. Instead, let's fade them. Let's fade their defense that's been susceptible to giving up points at times this season. And let's back the kid with the most moxie in college football. A kid who he's not coming back for an 8th year next year. He's not going to be a 30-year-old QB in college. This is his last run. And he talks about it after every game. He does not take it for granted. He's going out there giving it his all every fucking snap. He doesn't care if he gets hurt or not. That's the kind of kid I want my coins on. Don't be surprised if they upset people. Upset Bama. Shock the world. Shock the squares and the sharps united who are on Bama this weekend. But either way, I think they're scoring more than 21.5 points. Give me the team total over.
Sure. I'm in on that. So in on that. Pull off some magic.
Yep.
This is where I'll make my one Clemson backing, maybe for the rest of the year, depending on what they do. But
yeah,
made it very clear after the first LSU game debacle, I wanted nothing to do with them in any of the bigger games that followed. And what do you know? They're still rat shit throughout those games. But now you get to face UNC, which not only are you coming off of a week where you get to fully reshuffle the offense and not only figure out what's wrong, but also figure out who the guys are in the receiving room. They had some injuries in the receiving room, which really didn't help them the last couple of weeks. But now all indications are they're going to be coming back healthy, full go. And you get to see who you guys are now against a pitiful defense that made a UCF offense that is god-awful look really good and put up 34 points last week. But now I think this is a game where the offense gets right, puts it together. And realistically, if Dabo has his way, he always has one or two of these games where I think there's a potential they cover this truthfully on their own and put up 50 points if they really have it their way, like TCU did with this defense. But regardless, you also get on the other side a defense that we saw or have seen be a little bit vulnerable. Like they weren't great against Georgia Tech, even though like the point total wouldn't say it. Putting up 24 points doesn't tell you they had a really bad game, but Georgia Tech was getting yards whenever they felt in that game. The same goes for Syracuse, who tore them to shreds. Sure, a lot of that was with Angeli before he got hurt. But really after that, there wasn't that much of a drop-off either. Max Johnson, it seems like, is going to be starting today or this week, tomorrow for this team. So they're finally free of the shackles from dog shit Gio Lopez, who is a god-awful quarterback. Can't run the ball, even when they put him in packages too. Can't throw the ball down the field. Max Johnson is giving them the little bit of spark that they've had all season, both in the TCU game. Obviously, he came in garbage time for that, but he looks so much better commanding the offense. Even last week when they put him in after the game was already out of reach, He's a better downfield passer, which you're going to need against this Clemson offense or Clemson defense. Sorry. So I think we get points. I think Clemson probably smacks the shit out of them, but I also think UNC's offense at home, especially too, is going to put up a lot more of a fight than people think, than they have the first couple of weeks.
Okay. Love the sell job. Could be a good time to buy low on Bills' heels. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving here. Enough talking about some shootouts. We got to pick up the tempo and pace a hair. Let's talk about some blowouts. Two interesting spots here. I'll go ahead and get the party started with South Alabama, who's flipped from a dog to a favorite over the last couple of days. Pretty crazy, to be honest with you, considering they're playing Troy, who's been a pretty respectable non-power conference team over the last couple of years, but they lost their coach and their program is kind of spiraling downwards since then, since their coach went to Tulane, and they're still somehow better than South Alabama and how they've been so far this season, which is crazy. Pretty weird seeing South Alabama as a favorite on the road here after 4 straight losses, Jovan. Wouldn't you say? I think it's pretty fucking weird.
But
I do. On the road against a Troy team who's coming off a win in their last game against a 500 Troy team? Well, I want to back Major Applewhite. What a fucking name. Bet most people don't know who the fuck that is. That's South Alabama's coach. Worked for the Jags for a little bit. I think he was their offensive coordinator at one point, or at least their quality controls coach on offense. Now he's the head coach down there at South Alabama, and I want to buy low on them after 4 straight losses. Why are they flipping to a favorite? We've seen the South Alabama team produce a bunch of stars around the league in college football, around the country in college football in recent years with guys, playing great down there, developing, and then moving up and getting their NIL bag. We just talked about Gio Lopez, and obviously he got benched. The lights are a little bit too bright, but he came from South Alabama. This team has had guys, okay? And this year they got Bishop Davenport, he's not been great so far, but he's a dual threat, came in from Utah State at one point, at least a respected recruit. And this is a big-time buy low spot for him and the South Alabama team. And I cannot figure out why they're flipping from a +3 dog, which even I thought that was a little bit short, now to a -1.5 point favorites. Smells like they're winning this game. I want in.
The Jags. How about it? The difference.
Major Applewhite.
Major Applewhite goated. Let's go to Cincy and let's go to Sorsby 11 a.m., fellas. Favorite against Iowa State? I don't know why, but I can tell you, not just taking it because of that fact, because there's more of those, or been more of those over the past couple of years. They don't all hit, so they won't all hit. But Cincinnati, I think, wins this game for a couple different reasons. Last year, this game was one of Cincinnati's worst offensive performances, of the entire year. This game last year was what the Cincinnati-Nebraska game was this year. Like, Brendan Sorsby in that game only had 66 yards passing, but he had 143 on the ground because they were letting him and Corey Kiner, who had 120 himself on the ground, do whatever they wanted in the run game because the DBs, which they had much worse weapons on offense, receiver-wise, than they do this year, which is the big upgrade. They were just getting locked up by the corners. This year, and especially this week, you have 2 of probably the best 5 corners in the Big 12 that are out for the season now for Iowa State. I think prior to last week, they were missing 1, and it wasn't certain when he was going to be out for, but now the other one is out for the entire season. They're both gone in this game. Huge upgrades for Jeff Caldwell and even like Joe Royer, even though he's not going to be on one of those corners, but he's healthy now. He got hurt last game. He'll be back. The field's going to be open. Brendan Sorsby's going to take some shots. He didn't have those shots last year because nobody could get open. It's the way Iowa State plays defense too. They don't have a choice now. They ain't going to let him just run up 20 rushes for 150 yards like they did last year. He's going to take shots on this defense. There's going to be points. This is going to be a back and forth game, but their offense is set up to have the best performance against a good defense that they've had in a while. And I think schematically it's going to match up much better than last year now. So that's the reason they're favored in this game against Iowa State at home because they win.
Yep. They're winning. Love this play. Nobody knows Cincy more than Jovan. If you guys aren't tailing this one in the chat, why are you even here? Thoughts on the under in this game?
I like the over.
Okay. All right. The Sorsby passing touchdown square does scare me a hair, but if Jovan says Cincy, it's
he's
Cincy.
also very liable, even though he's going to have a big game through the air, just passing the ball. He's going to take a shot. I think the best square for him is his over longest completion, but he's also the guy on the goal line in those packages, which is probably why he doesn't even have a half touchdown square on the board, rushing receiving. He has straight to
All right.
one.
All right. Let's hope that goes better than my read of Hunter Watson rushing touchdown yesterday. That one's on me. Could not have been a worse read.
Too bad.
This one
I had the same
is
thing.
hitting. This one is hitting. All right. Let's talk about our dogs. Our favorite dog of the college football weekend. These dogs are barking. And if you didn't have Florida up there, I probably would have myself. So love that. We'll get to that in a second here. How about Purdue? How about the Boilermakers, who've looked a little bit better than I expected during this season? I'll tell you that much. And they're down to 9.5 against an Illinois team who's ranked. An Illinois team coming off a big old win in their last game against the Trojans. They beat my Trojans outright. Pretty pissed about that. I have their win total over. They beat a red-hot, undefeated Trojans team last week. They're going to be a little fat, happy, and complacent. I know they're on the road. Not like they're home. They're not going to be extra fat, happy, and complacent, but they'll be a hair happy, fat, and complacent here in this spot on the road coming off that big-time win. I don't think this Illinois team is just that good. I really don't. They've had some big wins so far this season. They beat USC. They crushed Duke. They got destroyed, though, by Indiana, who I don't think is really that good either. And this Purdue team has impressed me a hair. They put up 30 points against Notre Dame. Not that Notre Dame defense is the best one they've had in years. It's not, but it's still Notre Dame. It's still a 30-piece they put up against them. They put up a pretty good fight against them. And they did job against Ball State and SIU as well. Looks like a pretty sharp play, down from 10.5 to 9.5. Who the heck wants to take this after everybody looks at this game? The public looks at this game and says, oh, Illinois is back. They bounced back last week after a terrible game 2 weeks ago against Indiana. Now Illinois is back after that big-time upset against the Trojans. Oh, no. Back Purdue to keep this one within single digits. I like Mockabee. Hasn't done shit the last couple weeks, I'll be honest. Underrated running back, though, for Purdue. And if you go look at his rushing squares for this weekend, kind of looks like he's going to pop off and do something. If he's getting more than 60 yards this week, after not sniffing close to that, if you combine his last 2 weeks rushing yard totals, if he's getting 60 yards in this game, don't you think it's going to probably be a 10-point game? If it's not, they're not going to fucking run the ball. That's a very red square, a very good sign. Very good sign. And then seeing Ryan Brown up for that 1.5 passing touchdown square, I don't usually like taking more thans in that category, but certainly would not be taking this less than with that red-ass square after back-to-back weeks with only 1 passing touchdown. I think he passes for 2, and I think Purdue keeps this one within the number. Honestly, it might get even weirder, and you might see a little outright win for the Boilermakers, but I won't get that crazy. I'll just take the plus 9.5 here. Looks like one of the sharper plays of the college football slate.
Let's go. Shout out the Boilers.
Yep. What do you like about the Gators?
Yeah, I'll take you to the swamp. This was just like Memphis, a pretty planned play going into the season, and honestly kind of tickles the gym a little bit more with how bad Florida's been leading up to this game.
Yep.
I don't know why they're down to 4.5. That's honestly pretty confusing. I was more so pretty ready to strap up and go against some movement Texas-wise, but no, moving their way. But the one thing you cannot take away from this Florida team, as bad as DJ Lagway is, as bad as the offense has been, the defense is legit. And of course, you can say the same thing about Texas. That defense has performed fantastic as well. But they've had, one real test, and the one real test was Julian Saint's first game. So what can you really say about them? I don't know. This Florida defense is equally as good. I would even go far as say better as a unit than this Texas defense. And they've also been battle tested a shit ton more. The only reason a lot of those games that Florida have played between the USF game, even the Miami game got a little bit out of hand because DJ Lagway made that really bad. The LSU game, all of those games would have been triple the margin had this defense not been as good as it is. They have 3 of probably the best, I think technically by like PFF grades. I saw a tweet earlier, like the best 20 rushing defense D linemen in all of football. And you can tell. So like life's going to be really, really tough. I don't know exactly who's going to be healthy and getting full reps for Texas in this game, but all of that to say, whoever's in the backfield is not going to have an easy time, which means you're going to have trouble running the ball. You're going to have trouble passing to the outside because that's a big strength, even though they're a little shorthanded now with a big injury to Aaron Gates, which we can talk about. But you're going to have to hit consistent shots over the middle of the field if you're Arch Manning, which we haven't seen him be able to do all year. Obviously, it's been a handful of games, but you've had much easier matchups to do that than this one against this Florida defense. So I think he's going to have a hell of a time. It also goes without saying he had trouble in the Buckeye Stadium, like he's going to do it again. It's a really tough place to play in the Swamp. I think honestly, that's an even tougher place to play. I've been there in both places. The Swamp is ridiculous, especially when you get a labbed up matchup like this. But I also think coming off the bye week, I think that helps Florida a little bit more in this one because what are you going to break out at this point to see DJ Lagway throw some different stuff? Maybe he's not healthy. Maybe that's been the same issue. They try to make the same excuse for him and Arch. They're both really bad quarterbacks, but the playbook is going to be a lot different, I think, than you're seeing the first couple of weeks and the first couple of big games. So I think you're going to bring some stuff out, especially in the pass game that you haven't really seen before. They tend to do that. This is like the same time every year where Billy Napier gets a big win to save his job, and I think it's coming this week.
Okay. Great fucking sell job. I'm so down to take the Gators one more time. I got one more in me. If they don't cover this weekend, we're going to say some really mean things about them, and we're going to join forces and ban them the rest of the season. Good? Cool?
Maybe.
Okay. All right. Big Cheesy. I cannot believe you just said that in the chat. Anyone like Wyoming +4 or Maryland +6.5 this weekend? Oh, yeah, Big Cheesy, you like those plays? Do you? Do you? You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward? Okay. Why don't we go ahead and pull up the meat on tape plays then? How about Wyoming and Maryland? Right up there on the fucking boards. Boom. 2 words. Boom. This is the stinkiest, rattiest line of the weekend. Wyoming at home, getting the field goal and the hook against the most fraudulent, worst, undefeated team I have seen in my 27 years of life. In the UNLV Running Rebels, this team is a fraud. This is the worst undefeated team I have ever seen. Their quarterback, who transferred from UVA, is terrible. Anthony Calandria. And after losing coins on him last weekend, I'm going right back to the well after he had a handout touchdown late in that game. Actually, I think it was a couple weekends ago against Miami of Ohio to fuck over the less than 1.5 passing touchdowns. We'll talk about that square in a minute. For now, let's talk about why Wyoming is winning this game outright. Guys, Wyoming has some weird voodoo magic going on at home. They have ever since I had memories. They're pulling off upsets. They're hitting unders. They're keeping games close that they shouldn't. And after bringing in a new coach this year, a new regime, I kind of like what I'm seeing out of the Cowboys here. I liked it early on against some shit opponents when they beat Akron and UNI. Didn't like it too much against Utah and Colorado when they put up a combined 26 points and gave up almost 70 points in those 2 games. Well, Jovan, luckily, they've had a bye week to think about their actions after 2 shit games. And luckily, they're playing this one at home against UNLV. And just looking at this spread, man, UNLV is about this close to getting ranked if they win one more game. This team does not deserve to get ranked. This team is bad. If you watch them this season, not impressive. Full of mistakes, full of fucking lazy offense, and a defense that's had a couple guys in the past on that D-line. Not seeing it this year. Not seeing it this year for the Running Rebels. I want to fade the undefeated squad. It's one of the few left in college football as they have their Super Bowl this weekend because they know if they win this game against Wyoming, who sucks, they're going to be ranked. Well, I got another thing coming here. I think they lose outright to Wyoming. And the Cowboys here spreads down from 5.5 to 3.5. Give me the home dog. Hungrier dog runs faster in this matchup. Favorite play of the weekend?
For Josh Allen.
Shout out Josh Allen, MVP.
We're taking the Turks, Krabs. Come cross country after your Super Bowl, which you failed at, even though the game was probably a little bit closer for majority of the game against Ohio State than the final score of 24-16 would indicate. Not really on offense, and they get a pass for that. Ohio State's defense is fantastic, but they couldn't convert. The defense for Washington, though, kept them in the game for a majority of it, outside of, 2 straight drives where it kind of started to get away from them, but they played a lot better than the final score would show. Now you got to come cross country to a team that I don't think is going to get respected line-wise really all year. It's like same as the Wisconsin game. I don't really care to look at the lines for Maryland because on paper, maybe you would think this is fat. I don't really think so. But especially now, when you come cross country with a rushing attack that's going to give them a little bit of trouble. But again, I think this defensive line, they haven't really been tested yet by a really good rushing attack all season. But They're big, they're physical, and they're fast. This is one of the fastest units I think I've seen across the front seven in all of the ACC. So they fly around, and I think that'll be a challenge for them, surely, against Jonah Coleman and Devon Williams, what they're going to do on the ground. But I think they're up for it. And what we've seen from this Washington defense is a big step up. Or you're going to get a big step up as far as the matchup goes. They confuse Sand like a couple of times. They bring like really exotic looks in the secondary. So like they're going to do a good bit of that. But you know who else did a shocking like good bit of that? Wisconsin. You know what Malik Washington did when that happened? He threw bombs over the top. Those were like a couple of his rare deep shots. As soon as they brought the safety up and they tried to play this little disguise coverage, he threw right over the top of it. He is not a regular freshman. He is composed. He is calm. He's accurate. He'll take what you defense gives him. If they want to give him underneath everything, like just like they did with Julian Sayin, cool, do that. Maryland obviously doesn't have the same wide receiver weapons, so they're going to be a little more aggressive, you would think, bringing the safeties up, letting the corners press. He ain't shy to throw over the top. So like the matchup doesn't really scare me. The spot is interesting too, just like we pointed out. They're coming cross country after a big Ohio State game. They're getting a little healthier. Takario Davis is going to play. I don't think it really matters. They don't have like a true wide receiver one option. You can put whoever you want out there. He's not going to shadow anybody you would think, because it would be stupid to do that. Honestly, the biggest threat of everything is Dorian Fleming, who is a safety net over the middle, and they are very willing as a defense to give that up. So he's going to take it quite a bit. So this is like I think Maryland is up for the test type play. This is their prove it spot. I don't even know if Wisconsin really would count as a prove it spot, even though they were a double-digit dog on the road, and that was Malik Washington's first test. But this is the real first good team they're going to play. They come and they pull the upset this week.
I hope you're right. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like Washington here. Not going to lie.
I would expect you to.
Yeah. After Washington's beatdown last week, and they all hurt us. Maybe we were a week early there. But look, man, you're the Maryland Whisperer. They're undefeated. I hope you're right, because I want this fucking team to be good. And I want Malik Washington to be good. Now, does Malik Washington have a very green pass and touchdown square on Prize Picks? Yep, he does. But hey, still not getting a ton of respect. Okay? I don't think I'm confident enough to fade and make it a Battle Berg. So I'll be rooting for you in the terms.
Let's go.
Okay? Probably just sit that one out. All right.
I'll Berg it.
It's just
Please, Berg.
I don't even know what to say. Go to the Prize Pick squares. Okay. Mr. Beast Gaming, my sister went to the Naval Academy and sends me shirts and clothes all the time. I'm allowed to wear Navy stuff. It's not anti-military to wear shirts that say Navy on it. There's no rule against that. I'm not in full military outfit. Okay. I'm not in uniform. I'm wearing a t-shirt that says Navy on it. That's totally fine, bro. It's totally fine. Normal. Very normal thing to do. Okay. Let's power through our squares here. Jovan, Kevin Jennings has thrown like 10 picks in his last 5 games. He might just be bad. You know who's worse? Syracuse's secondary. My goodness. And after a handout pick against Clemson the other week, God, a fucking pinball of a pick, bouncing off of players, hitting helmets, hands, and arms and shit, fucking picks. Unbelievable from Syracuse. They're not getting another one here. They're not. Perfect time to fade their defense. It's absolutely terrible. And back Kevin Jennings, who I'm assuming, if I'm the QB coach down there at SMU, I'm sitting this kid down and saying, buddy, you don't throw a pick, we win some more of these games. Keep the ball secure. This is just like that Tua square where at some point coach has to sit you down and say, don't fucking throw a pick or you're grabbing pine. Shark cannot be more green. Favorite square of the weekend, Kevin Jennings, less than half a pick against Syracuse in a game I think they could win big. And then Anthony Calandria, this one's personal, folks. Got to fade the Who here. Former Who, Fraud Who, who's now UNLV running Rebel. How do you go from UVA to UNLV? Those are two of the opposite schools I've ever fucking seen. Kid can huck it. But I'll tell you what, Jovan, massive sleepy spot here for undefeated UNLV on the road in a game I like the under in a game the total's dropping in. He ain't throwing 2. He might not even throw 1.
Huge. Shout out Calandria. Go.
Yep. All right, quick sell jobs on your squares.
Jack Andrees. So like I said in that game, as much as I love Florida, it's because you're going to have not much, but flooding the middle of the field. I think if you're Arch in this offense, which that's the one place where Florida is pretty vulnerable, not just because they're so good at every other area, but because their linebackers are a little slow and not great in coverage, hence why when they played Miami, Feast, I think combined between the two games, there's probably 130 yards between the tight ends between the Miami game and the LSU game. I know Bauer Sharp for LSU also had a pretty huge catch kind of going across the middle and going up the sideline too. So A lot of that. That's something that I'll take all year. Puts him in a pocket. Jack Andrews is going to grub, especially now that he's healthy. And JKS pass completions. This Duke pass defense is fucking terrible, Krabs. God awful. And Cal's gotten away with not putting a lot on JKS's shoulders for the past couple of games because they've been playing run defenses that they can actually run against. And Duke's run defense, don't get me wrong, is not the greatest thing ever, but it's considerably better than I think a lot of the ones that Cal has played over recent. So I do not think Raphael is going to have the easiest time back there, which means JKS is not only going to sling it, I think he'll take his deep shots, but I also think the intermediate game is going to be a big part of this one. He's going to be dumping off a lot to Mason Minnie, getting Jacob DeJesus in space, hitting Sean Grizel. He'll be the bigger play guy, and he's been his most reliable option. So this square has also been up for whatever reason. I think I haven't checked in the last couple hours that we've been on stream, but it's been up all week, like the only square in that category, which is pretty odd because he hasn't been going over it. I think he's going to be in a pass-heavy script this game and get over this.
Okay, that's your guy. Nobody knows him or that Cal team better. It's one of your 10 teams. Dialed in. Dialed in. I like the over in that game too. I also think he'll be hucking it.
Yep.
I'm in. All right, W, prize big squares. Guys, love talking about these kids. Love talking about these college games. Again, back-to-back shit weekends of college football slates, in my opinion. But let's go ahead and move on and talk about the professionals, Jovan. Enough talking about the kids. Let's talk about the pros. Goods, run that shit. Second week in a row, I forgot to do my honorable mention plays here, so I'm just going to read them out loud, and then we're going to move on. I like UAB +7 this weekend. I like Ball State +14.5. I like Vandy +10.5, but I probably like that team total over a little bit more. We'll see what I end up playing. That's why you always check the Pickett cards. I like UVA +6.5, and I never thought I'd say that, but I think I'd rather fade Louisville than fade UVA coming off their biggest win in program history. I just think UVA is like this year's Vanderbilt, where NIL, they're fucking back. Their team is actually fucking stacked. Houston +11.5. I like big game for them. I like Texas A&M -15.5 as a big old favorite. I like Florida State +4.5 against Miami. I like Tulsa +20.5. And I like Nevada +13.5. Jovan, real quick, any honorable mentions you want to shout out? I'm pretty sure I just named every fucking team.
Perhaps you're going to have to Berg Memphis again?
Yep.
Kind of want to.
Yep.
Kind of want to.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll stay on this week, though, because it actually does make a little bit of sense. Tulsa's run defense is somewhat decent, so Brendan Lewis got to sling the ball. If you want an honorable mention, Brendan Lewis pass yards. So I do think they're going to be slinging it. The game will be closer for a while.
Nice.
Game-wise, Florida State +4.5.
Cool. I need you gargling that mic.
Okay.
I need you gargling it. Okay? It's not your fault. I just need you in there.
Okay.
Not for me, so the chat can hear you clearly. Okay? All right. Yeah, get in there, man. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be shy now. Okay? Don't be shy now. Let's talk about the NFL, folks. Let's talk about some unders. Got burned on that Eagles under last week. I didn't hear no bell. I'm going right back to it here. I want to fade Bo Nix, who's just terrible. I want to fade this Broncos offense. It looked pretty good last week against the Bengals. Dude, me, Jovan, and Goots could go out there and make, we could look pretty fucking good and make some plays against the Bengals defense. So I want to fade them coming off their easiest opponent they're going to face all season. Fade that offense, fade Bo Nix. And I want to fade Jalen Hurts, and I want to fade A.J. Brown, who's number one on the me guy list, by the way, that I'm crafting up. Number one. Spoiler alert here for my BTL goats. Number one is A.J. Brown, who just can't keep his mouth shut. The team keeps winning, and he keeps making it about himself. Super fucking annoying. If I was them and saw how slow he was moving out there on the field, I would cut his ass, to be honest with you. But, hey, I'm not the coach. That's their decision. If they want a shitty receiver who's a me guy out there, they could keep him. They could keep him. Jovan, he's been yapping so much, you're probably going to see them try to force him the ball. Don't think that's good for their offense. And also, Saquon Barkley has not looked like Ma and Pa's Saquon from last year. I'll say it. He hasn't. If there's one thing this Broncos defense could do, it's silence him a little bit. So go ahead and give me the under. Eagles defense isn't great, but luckily they're facing Bo Nix and the Broncos, a team that I consistently want to fade week in and week out this season. And I like Denver's defense against Philly here. I think they give them trouble. Don't like Denver. Would not be surprised if they keep this one within the number. or maybe even shock the world and hand Philly their first loss, but you won't see me betting that. Instead, give me the under on the total that's dropped 2 full points. It was already kind of low at 45.5 with how these offenses have been humming last couple weeks. I think that's a great sign, seeing it drop it down to 43.5.
Let's go. I'm in on that.
Okay.
This one I will actually get with as far as the Bucks under. They're going to have to show me this week out in Seattle, especially, I mean, they're obviously very, very shorthanded at pretty much every single level, even the defense now. They took a step and a half forward last week on offense in terms of health. And then not only does Bucky go down, but then you take 10 steps back on defense with a lot of the corners now. So they're going to have to reshuffle, which means they're going to be playing a lot more bend, don't break defense. They can't be as pressure heavy as Todd Bowles wants them to be. They can't play as much high press or like shallow coverage. They can't be as aggressive on that because a lot of their nickels are going to be playing on the outside, like Jacob Parrish, which is bad. So they're going to be playing a lot more conservative coverage where they give up a lot underneath and tighten up in the red zone. This game screams a lot of feet, in my opinion. Both for the Seahawks, who I do think win the game and probably cover, but from the Bucks as well. Obviously, you have no Bucky Irving. God knows what the split's going to be between Rashad White and Sean Tucker. If it was a worse run defense, I would be super excited about firing up Sean Tucker, and he would be the guy, but it's really not. They're going to have a challenge, not only running the football, but also throwing the ball to Egbuka. I think he's going to have a little bit of a tough time despite the narrative. I think it's going to be a slugfest where the Bucks have struggled with slow starts the entirety of the season. Feels like this time is going to be too big of a hole for them to climb out of. A little similar to last week, but without as many points because the special teams kind of contributed to that on both sides. But I don't think the splash plays to get them back in the game are going to be there, which means a lot more field goals, a lot more feet. Not up.
I'm in. I think we're a little early on the unders in the Bucks and the Eagles. Let's go ahead and go back to them both in their matchups this weekend.
I didn't realize.
Hilarious. Love it, though. After that high-scoring game last week, love it. Okay, let's keep moving and grooving here, folks. Let's talk about my least favorite thing to talk about, and that's some overs and fun. Hate these overs, but we got to take them. We got to take some sort of over, Jovan. And in my opinion, I love yours, by the way. We'll talk more about that game in a little bit. So I like these two plays, but you guys just know I hate overs as guts. That's why I had to isolate and just take the Jets team total over against one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Thought about taking the full game over. Then I looked at the prize pick squares and saw that Dak and co are getting significantly disrespected. I saw that Javonte Williams is up for a touchdown square, and I'm scared. And I also like the Jets. Spoiler alert. I like the fucking Jets to win this game and get their first win of the season after getting embarrassed on prime time last weekend. So give me the Jets team total over. I think Justin Fields, if he's available in your leagues, is a great fantasy pickup for this weekend. I picked him up in a league. I'll be starting him at QB in a league. I think he runs all over him. Does a pretty good job passing as well. Has a touchdown or two. Probably gets one on the ground as well. And you see the Jets score plenty of points against this Cowboys defense that is unfixable. Sure, maybe Dak can keep up. Maybe he can keep him in this game. And maybe you see the full game go over. I don't want to risk it looking at the prize pick squares for the Cowboys in the game I think they get upset in. Instead, I'll just take the Jets offense to keep humming in a must-win spot. If they don't score more than this, they're not fucking winning or covering. And they are winning and covering this weekend.
Let's go. Shout out to Jets.
Right?
With the Panthers to score points in this one. It's kind of like if there's ever a spot, I don't want to back too many of, especially like the dog shit NFC South teams between everybody but the Bucks because they're all other ones are dog shit. But the time I will do it, back them in some form or fashion, is after a blowout loss similar to the Falcons last week. And the Panthers, if you're the Panthers offense right now, it's now or never because not talking like a desperation spot in terms of the entire season. I'm talking about the offense showing something and showing somewhat of a pulse with a emphatic performance off of a dog shit loss against the Patriots, where now you get to get the Dolphins defense, which shout out them for doing job on Monday night, but the defense really didn't help. The fact was they didn't really have a quarterback that could stretch the ball down the field because Justin Fields can't throw and he's god awful. And he had his shot still. He took a couple of them to Garrett Wilson, and it kind of worked out like that. And that's the only reason the game wasn't a 20-point blowout. And you might ask, why is Bryce Young a significantly better quarterback and throwing the ball downfield? He hasn't shown it yet. I think he will in this game, especially when you have no real run game now. I'm interested to see what they do because Truba's probably not playing. I don't know if that's official yet. But you're going to have Rico Dowdle back there, which means I think you're pretty happy if you're the Panthers offense to use him when needed, of course. Like it's a really bad Dolphins rush defense, which is good to settle Bryce Young in, but you're going to be in a more pass happy script than not, which I think is great. This is the chance where you get to throw it all out there and say, this is the game for Bryce Young to show something. This is one of the best chances
Yep.
you're going to have in the next couple of weeks now. Go out there, score 23 points, but I think you're going to have one where you get all of the looks possible for Bryce Young in this offense because now's the time. Now's the perfect matchup to do so.
Yep. Love this from you. We'll talk a little bit more about this game in a second. For now, let's talk about why we got a consensus quake on the New Orleans Saints. Oh, boy. Jovan, I'm sorry, man. I could not think of a single other favorite I like this weekend besides maybe the Seahawks. There's an honorable mention for you, but I like the Saints significantly better. Shocker. I don't like a lot of favorites, and I hate overs. The hell's wrong with me, man? I'm taking the Saints this weekend, and luckily you are too. I love to see that. Wish I could have found another team to really talk about, but I mean, I cannot resist or ignore what the hell is going on in this game. You've got Jackson Dart. Everybody thinks is the fucking Lord and Savior for the state of New York and their football program up there at MetLife. Guys, he had one good game. Great game. Called that one, by the way. Said they covered that game. They won outright against the Chargers. Handed Harbaugh his first loss against a rookie QB. Wow. Now it's time to fade. Short memory. Not like a goldfish, because apparently they're fucking geniuses. Learned that last week. But now it's time to fade Jackson Dart. Have a short memory after we backed him and made coins last week and looked like geniuses. Let's look like geniuses again this weekend and take the Saints to win their first game of the season. Guys, all these NFL teams are goods. Backup players are goods. Shitty defeated teams are good. The Jets are goods. The Saints are goods. They're just not as good as the better teams in the league. But the discrepancy between the worst and the best in the NFL is way, way less than other sports. College, there's way more variance. There's way more discrepancy. MLB, between, teams like the Pirates, teams like the White Sox, and the teams at the top, like the Dodgers and the Yanks, whatever. Way bigger discrepancy, way more differential between the top and the bottom. NFL, everybody could play. That's why they made a fucking movie called Any Given Sunday. If you haven't seen that shit, go watch it. That's your homework for the weekends. Anybody can beat anyone in this league, and you got to bet spots, and you got to bet hungrier teams. And more often than not, if you do that, you're making coins in the NFL. Not a hungrier team right now in the NFL, besides probably the Jets, that we'll talk about in a little bit, than the Saints, who were 0-4 with a rookie head coach who probably hasn't slept in a month because he still has not gotten his first win as a head coach in the NFL. Well, congratulations, Kellen Moore, former Boise State Broncos legend. I think you get your first win as a head coach this weekend against the rat shit Giants. Coming off their legacy win, their Super Bowl, their debut of Jackson Dart. People think it's going to matter. Guys, this Giants team still sucks. Sure, Jackson Dart might be decent in the future. He had one decent game against the fucking Chargers in the ultimate letdown spot last week. The ultimate fat, happy, complacent spot for the Chargers. Okay, now he's going to be thinking he's fucking him, going on the road down there to New Orleans. Maybe the Giants have a little bit of fun down there, a little too much fun after a pretty darn good win last week. And the Saints aren't having any fun right now. They are hungry. Hungrier dog runs faster in this league. And the craziest part is they're not even a dog. The Saints, who are 0-4, are a favorite. The worst looking team in the NFL is a favorite against the Giants, who just beat the fucking Chargers last week. So nasty spot, has to be done. Give me the Saints. Jovan, what else you got, man?
Let's see, what can I touch on that you haven't already said outside of the obvious? Well, I guess I'll say this. Jackson Dart, I don't want to say it was an anomaly because I think he's a serviceable quarterback, of course. But what won them that game is the novelty. The defense played good, but it was the novelty of that playbook. When you see that for the first time, you don't really know, especially transitioning from Russell Wilson, what the playbook's going to look like, what the design runs are going to look like, what the run schemes with that are going to look like with the offensive line. So a Chargers defense that's good and fundamentally sound struggled to keep him off the ground. He had explosive runs. He had runs in the red zone, obviously, to score a touchdown. And it's hard to kind of gauge that in a first start when you don't really know what's going to happen. Obviously, you have film on that now. So what's going to happen? That novelty of the playbook is going to wear off very, very quickly as we get here in the next couple games. So especially against a guy, not a great head coach, but a very serviceable defensive coordinator who does not have much to work with on defense right now, which is why the defense has been bad. But he mixes up some looks in Brandon Staley, and I think he's going to be serviceable there. What would be pretty funny for him, of all people, to get the lick back from the Chargers, and I think he does. But that's what I'll give you there. Also, like Spencer Rattler gets the ball out of his hands quicker than most quarterbacks in the league right now. I don't remember the rank off the top of my head, but if you're playing a really good, ferocious Giants front seven that's really giving everybody trouble, gave Herbert a lot of trouble last week. It's not the worst quarterback to have out there, one that does not hold on to the ball very long. So I think it's a good matchup for him.
Okay. Could not agree more. Could not wait for this game this weekend, man. W consensus quick. Kellen Moore gets his first dub against a team he's very familiar with in the New York Giants from his time as an OC with the Cowboys. Okay. Let's move. Let's groove. Let's talk about some dogs that are going to be barking this weekend. I told you we'd be bringing up the Panthers again, and here they are. Oh, nasty. After the Dolphins get their big-time win last week, I think you see the Panthers get their big-time win this weekend. You took their team total over. I like it. Let me go ahead and match you with the Panthers plus 1.5. I think they went outright, but I'll take the plus 1.5 here at home against a Dolphins team with no Tyreek. That's massive. They don't have maybe Darren Waller catches 2 touchdowns and saves in this game. If he does, I will fucking tip cap and recommend you guys trade for him in fantasy football because then he's the next Gronk. Give me a fucking break. Great story, but come on now. If he does that again 2 weeks in a row, you charge it to the game, you tip cap. Guys, this game simply means more for Bryce Young. Remember we talked about how desperate Tua was to go out there and get a win last week and not throw a pick? Well, he did it. And now he's feeling a little bit more comfortable. He's going up there on the mic and talking about how he needs to eat more carbs to protect his brain. Guys, his brain might be shot. I'll say it with comments like that. That does not make a lick of sense to me. Not a guy I want to bet on after he gets his big time win that he needed to keep his job safe. I want to bet on Bryce Young, who has been so bad this season, Jovan. At some point, changes are going to be made. If he doesn't show something here soon, well, what better matchup than going against the Dolphins defense that actually played okay at times last week? Perfect time to fade them. Back Bryce Young at home and take the nasty, stinky Panthers that should probably be getting more points than just 1.5 against a Dolphins team that's coming off their first win of the season and played Buffalo and the Patriots really tough. They've played 3 really good games in a row. Might not have all been wins, but they've played competitive games 3 weeks in a row. Now's the time to fade them. Take Bryce Young, who has a great matchup to finally prove himself and show something. And again, this team's dealing with injuries too. They don't have their stud running back Chuba, who's been the one consistent, reliable piece, and they're only plus 1.5. Give me a break. Nasty, stinky, and I want the Panthers. One of the grossest plays of the weekend. They pull off the upset.
Shout out the Panthers.
No, the Panthers did not play a competitive game against the Pats. Open your ears, Sock Station. I was talking about the Dolphins. Tell me about the Titans.
The Titans. You get a quarterback calling out team saying you're straight up ass. It's going to take a lot for me to not bet on them the next week. Especially because there's a specific thing, just like the Falcons last week. They were talking about in the media, all the shows. I think Dan Orlovsky was like calling it out too, and it eventually spread everywhere. How the Falcons are very predictable when they run out of sets. When they're in the pistol, they run every time. When they're in the shotgun, they pass every time. There's a lot going on with the Titans, more than just the fact that they're a bad football team. They're not running play action when they've been one of the best teams in football somehow, some way in doing so. Which defense has been pretty brutal over the last couple of games against play action, and especially when it's mattered in close games to lose it, the Arizona Cardinals. So as much as I do respect that defense, something gets called out like that. You got Cam Ward saying your offense is ass, which it is, 100% is. You do get Tyjae Spears back, which is huge. Maybe you get a limited Calvin Ridley. Reports are saying he's going to play, but he's not full strength. Whatever, I really don't care because Iomenner has been equally as good, if not better, production-wise. But now you get a little different look at the offense. I think they're going to switch with the play calling, especially after being called out publicly on it. They're going to go more play action. They're going to let Cam Ward sling it in early downs instead of giving these dog shit RPOs. So I think the playbook's going to look a lot different. What will I do until the end of time? Fade Kyler Murray as a big home favorite because he is god-awful at doing so with it. No, we'll never trust him in that spot. So give me the Titans, especially when nobody wants them on the road. Get back.
You had me at betting a team whose QB called him out for being ass. W angle. All right, Cam Ward legacy game loading. Let's hope King Dre. Let's move on to our meat on tape, our favorite plays of the weekend. Turner Mac, there's nothing else we can really do. I'm sorry. We got to figure out the mic for next week. We'll get it done. All right, let's talk about our meat, Jovan. Who in their right minds wants to bet on the Bengals after what we've been witnessing, man. You're taking the Titans. That's disgusting. Makes me want to puke just thinking about it. By the way, I'm in. I'll tell that shit. I'm going to try to one-up you here and take an even nastier play if that's even possible. Give me Jake Browning. Give me the Bengals. I think they could potentially win this game outright. I'll say it. I think they could catch everybody sleeping because, again, guys, this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, you still have to play the game. And the Lions right now are fat, happy, and extra complacent. You got Amon-Ra Brown saying, oh, I got 100 podcasts and I play 2K till 4 a.m. and I still catch touchdowns and I'm him. Add him to the me guy list, Goots. Officially a me guy. Not in the top 5, but he's on the list. Never thought I'd be saying that with Amon-Ra Brown, blue collar guy, but me guy. And he thinks he's him right now. Perfect time to fade him. Perfect time to fade Jared Goff. Perfect time to back the hungriest team in the NFL. The Bengals, coming off of maybe the worst game I've watched in years in the NFL. I've watched a lot of stinkers. This one might be the stinkiest. Coming off the worst game I've ever seen. They lost 30-28 to not a very good Broncos team. Defense is good, but their offense is terrible. They gave up 28 points. They marched down the field with ease every fucking drive and scored some sort of points. This team's covered one game this season, and it was against the Jags, who looked pretty bad in that game. Jake Browning is atrocious. People are saying they need to make a trade. They probably do, but I'll tell you right now, this is Jake Browning's last chance. This is Chase Brown's last chance. This is the Bengals' last chance. This is Zach Taylor's last chance. This is that terrible defense's last chance. Back against the wall, give me the hungry dog. Spreads down to 9.5, 10 some places. Grab the 10.5 while you still can. Grab it while it's hot. Won't be here for long. Nasty, nasty line movement here. And fading the Lions after 3 straight wins. The Lions are starting to look like they're fucking himmy. Once again, shout out Goots. After a bunch of big wins in a row. Perfect time to fade on the road. Fat, happy, and complacent spot. Back in the hungrier team in the Bengals. So cannot wait till Monday comes around and the Bengals either win outright or lose on the game when he kicked the Lions. I'll be there watching.
Let's go, Krabs. Huge. I'll keep it quick because we're running short on time. You still got squares. The Patriots are going to beat the Bills in Buffalo on Sunday night.
Wow.
I'm taking you plus 8.5. I've been waiting for this because the Bills, nobody gives up less yards per attempt passing wise than the Bills, which means if you can dink and dunk on them, you're going to have success as an offense. Now, do they know this as much as we know this? Yes. Guess who leads the league in completion percentage because that's what they do, dink and dunk the entire offense? Drake May. So this is a perfect matchup for him. And the Bills haven't really been burnt by it. Lamar is really the only one that can do it against them. And he put up 40 points in doing so and obviously lost the game in crazy fashion. But he dink and dunked and it worked. That's how they got out to an early lead. Obviously, Derrick Henry did his thing too. But Lamar wasn't slinging the ball down the field. He threw the ball 19 times. But he was efficient and effective in the short game. You know who doesn't do this, Krabs? You know who can't dink and dunk for a whole game plan effectively? Justin Fields, Tua Tagovailoa, and a little bit of Spencer Rattler, which Spencer Rattler is the best one out of the 3 at doing so, which is why that game was actually a little close for a little bit. And they ended up covering the game, and the offense showed a little bit of pulse before it fell apart late. But they don't face many quarterbacks that can accurately do what is supposed to be the attack against that defense, except Drake May, who does it very, very well and also has his legs that I think are going to be a big weapon in the game, which we can talk about when we get to squares. But I think the matchup is absolutely perfect. I think this is a perfect letdown spot after just a sleepy game they didn't end up covering, but they ended up coming through. And what do you know? They got a big road trip in Atlanta coming up next week where Josh Allen is, I don't know, maybe set up for a little bit of a weird game there as well. But it's a road trip after the Bills have been at home for 3 straight weeks now. The Patriots go in against the fat, happy, complacent Bills and get a win for Chris Collinsworth to watch.
Yep. Love this play. Nasty. Not a single person on earth probably thinks they win that game or at least cover. I'm with you. Great play.
He covers. I don't know about some wins.
Yeah. Who's really fading the Bills right now, though, in the Big 2-5? Probably not many people.
Goots probably not many people. That play.
Yep. All right. Let's power through these squares. No sell jobs. One-liners for each of these. Bengals can't cover or win that game potentially or keep it close unless Jake Browning gets, 250 passing yards. So he's having a good game for once. And then Amon-Ra, officially added to the me guy list, has to be faded after thinking he's him, staying up late, being a bad teammate, playing more 2K than he is fucking getting the playbook ready and The guy still scored 1 million touchdowns this season. He's coming off like 5 in his last 3-4 games. Perfect time to fade him. And I've been piping hot on these touchdown fades. Let's stay hot.
Dialed.
Let's stay hot. All right, your squares.
Chris Godwin. Cool narrative, I guess, with Igbuka going home, friends with JSN. Don't care. Godwin's leaning in. I think it's the perfect matchup for him. He's going to be playing more in the slot. This is where they're going to attack, especially with struggling run game, depending on how the Rashad Tucker split ends up. But say that. And then Drake May. What can I really tell you about that? I just kind of told you. Perfect matchup for him. Dink and dunk your way. Use your legs. Perfect matchup for Drake May to have a splooge game, whether they're up or whether they're down.
Could not agree more. Love those plays. I will be tailing. Chris Godwin might be back. That's a huge development for your boys. Okay. All right. We're going to do these Saturday and Sunday squad rides via X this weekend, which is probably a good thing after back-to-back weeks of really good weekend squad rides. Let's get contrarian after we picked him on the show. And let's go back to the Twitter poll. Because again, guys, if you play that Rocket game, you stay on too long, you lose it all. You got to make changes before the mistakes happen. Okay, and that's what we're doing this week. We're going to do the polls on X for Saturday and Sunday squad rides. Okay, we're going to lab up later today. For now, let's go ahead and craft up a squad ride for tonight. Goots, do me a favor. Run that shit. WBTL today. Can we get some W's in the chat for a 2-hour mega app while we craft up a squad ride winner for today? Jovan, what is your favorite play tonight, my man? Please tell me it's Western Kentucky.
It's a San Diego State over. I hate to tell you.
Okay. When Jovan says it's his favorite play, I listen and I put it in there. Got to put the 3-unit play of the year in here as well for me, respectfully. In San Jose State on the money line. Has to be done. Chat, this is how we get our Sam Houston lick back.
CSU.
W. Goots. God, Charlotte's covering that game as well. Should we get them involved or no?
Yeah. We go San Diego State over. I think we go four poll today. San Diego State over, Western Kentucky, Charlotte, San Jose State.
Okay. Let's go 4 plays, 4 winners, chat. 2 minutes. 4 plays, 4 winners, 2 minutes. We've got San Diego State, Colorado State over 41.5. We've got San Jose State on the money line. We've got Charlotte plus 27.5. And we've got Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers. Don't let them get hot. Might be too late. How about the plus 2.5? Guys, you think I'm losing 2 play of the years in a row, back-to-back nights? Give me a fucking break. Give me a break. We're getting our lick back tonight. We're getting a big-time win. Spartans are winning that game. Coach Ken is winning that game. Walter Egat's winning that game. Floyd Chalk IV is winning that game.
Danny Scuro mentioned after all that is nuts.
Nope.
Literally Nash.
Well, I need to see longevity. Like Floyd Chalk and Walter Egat and Coach Ken. I need to see longevity. Okay?
He wins
back-to-back 3-unit plays.
You got to put some respect on his name.
If he comes through tonight, I'll fucking do. Yeah, I'll say whatever you want about him. Okay, I'll say he's the next Justin Jefferson. All right?
Need that.
Get those votes in, chat. Get those votes in. Looks like I've lost all trust after one loser. I bet. It's actually crazy. It
was always going to be an uphill battle for you to win this poll, Krabs.
I understand. I had one chance and I blew it, I guess. Makes no sense because, again, I'm 46-31, up 10.22 units in college football this year at 60%. Maybe next week we get to dust off old Krabs, Turner Mac. I guess 60%
maybe this
is
weekend
not good enough.
Dust off old Krabs. You'll forget.
Maybe.
We dusted off old Krabs for that Georgia under. That was just incredible work.
It's okay to dust off old Krabs a time or two. It is. Get those votes in, chat. Get them in. Turner Mac, you're a smart man. Okay? Smart man. W's. All right. The over. Jovan's play of the night. San Diego State, Colorado State. Some points in that game tonight for the squad ride. We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you guys on Monday. Stay posted on X for the polls for the Sunday and Saturday squad ride votes in the AM. Do not forget to vote. My 3-unit play is San Jose State ML tonight. Squad ride San Diego State, Colorado State over 41.5. And we'll catch you guys on Monday. Same time, same place. We'll be